Hey there, this is the One Boom, and today we're talking about the second weekend of the Modern Warfare 2 beta. How is it improved? Is it better on a next-gen console compared to a last-gen console? Well, the answer is, yeah, it's improved, and it's a bit better on a Series X than a PS4 Pro, obviously. This video is going to be pretty simple. I don't have the time to dive into every single aspect of the beta currently. We all know what the issues are. People have issues with the footsteps and the minimap, how certain perks are balanced or how they work in general, the perk system in general. There are complaints to be had, but honestly, my only complaints with the Modern Warfare 2 beta on weekend 2 is that netcode still feels a little off, and sometimes you'll be holding the trigger down on somebody and you'll keep holding it down on them. There will be like a solid half second of just not getting hit markers even though your sight's right on them, and then you die. Damage spiking or damage stacking, however you want to put it, is in my opinion the biggest issue in this beta next to footstep audio and general visibility. Infinity Ward still hasn't put red nameplates above enemy heads, which I think is the wrong move, but what they have done is reduce the overall visual garbage that happens when you are firing your gun. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of exaggerated visual recoil and idle sway, which I'm not a huge fan of, but the smoke effects, the particle effects from firing seem to have been pretty much perfectly reduced, but I wouldn't mind a slight extra reduction. I am all for immersive animations and explosions and particle effects normally, but in Call of Duty multiplayer, I'd like to be able to, track my target. I really hope Infinity Ward can strike that balance between realistic and detailed and competitive and video gamey, because that's the best place for Call of Duty to sit, in my opinion. I love detailed animation work, I love detailed environments, I love great lighting effects, smoke and particle effects, I love them so much, but not at the expense of being able to win gunfights in a competitive environment. It's annoying that in previous Call of Duty games, older Call of Duty games on the 360, they were running at like below 720p, getting upscaled to 1080p, and I could still see enemies better, more clearly, and track them better back then. Not always and not on every map, and I'm not trying to throw around old COD better rhetoric, but in general, I don't remember seeing my opponent to be one of the biggest stressors in the game, and now it kind of is. But when it comes to weekend 2, playing on a current gen console, I think earlier I said next gen, but that's a force of habit that just doesn't end until the next gen starts. But anyway, when it comes to current gen consoles, this game runs and looks really good. The game is snappy and intuitive, it's fast but weighted, and I just really appreciate it now with a controller I'm more comfortable with on a system with a little bit more horsepower. When the connection isn't giving me a headache, the game really does sing. The gunplay, the movement, the map design, the pacing, it all seems to sing a little bit when you don't get into a lobby of people camping to be funny, or a lobby with really heavily fluctuating ping. My biggest complaints going into the second weekend of the beta are definitely involving the player base, footstep audio, and I'm sorry, this is very subjective, but the maps to me are very boring. None of these maps have any flavor to me. They look good, they don't play badly, but they just are kind of lame. They're kind of like Black Ops 4 maps in that way, or even some of the COD World War II maps. Like, there's nothing really wrong with them, I can't complain about them, but there's no interactability, there's no moving parts other than doors, and I honestly think those doors should be destructible, so it feels a little awkward. I think so far the map I'm enjoying the most is the hotel map, just because it's a perfect blend of I love the aesthetic, and I don't think it plays too poorly. It's that perfect amount of predictable and complex, but with good visibility, a very clean aesthetic. I would love to see a night version of it. Also, an interesting thing that's made the beta a lot more fun is the Lockman 5.56 assault rifle. I don't know what it is about this weapon, but it's solving a lot of the issues I have with the gunplay. Visually, it's very appealing, and in terms of visual recoil in general, it's very consistent, it's very easy to control, and it feels more like a traditional Call of Duty weapon that isn't bobbing and shaking so much in your hands. It reminds me of a Kilo or a Grau, and I really like it. Also, I tried out sniping with the Lynx, and oh, sniping is so satisfying in this game, and I really can't wait to use the other sniper rifles. Hopefully it's not too overpowered, but it does feel very, very viable, and again, it's immediate serotonin every time you get a hit with it. It's fantastic. Infinity Ward has just nailed feel and aesthetic with this game. I hope that they can apply some actual balance to it. I hope that they can look at footstep audio and the mini-map. They can look at some of the perks and the perk system and make like a damn near perfect Call of Duty game, or I guess I should more accurately say my ideal Call of Duty game. There's a lot of people complaining about camping in this game. Don't be fooled, there are people camping, and I do think the biggest contributor to the slower playstyles is the footstep audio. Because in general, this game has the most anti-camper tools and camper tracker tools we've ever seen, and the entire perk system as it currently stands really makes it hard for people to camp until the late end of a game. I don't think this game is going to have a systemic camping issue that has a million different reasons, similar to how Modern Warfare 2019 did. I think they genuinely just need to tone down footstep audio, put red names above people's heads, and adjust the perk system for a miles better experience. Now, how that perk system gets adjusted could be 100 different ways, but it definitely isn't perfect in its current state. And hell, some of the perks inside that system need a buff or a nerf. In my next video, I'm going to rant about how many things affect your flinch in this game, because I'm really sick of Call of Duty doing this. They stopped doing it for a while, and now they're back to doing things that directly affect the amount of flinch your character receives when shot. This needs to stop. It needs to not be a factor in Call of Duty when you're making your class, and I need to make a video about it. But my initial impressions of Modern Warfare 2's Weekend 2 on the Xbox Series X is that it is very tight, very consistent, and the visibility in gunfights due to their reduction of smoke and particle effects is much better. It could be even more better, but it's much better. Anyway, that's a short little video for today. I know it's not that interesting, but I'm gonna be streaming this game throughout the weekend, and hopefully you guys can, bear with me because I got stuff going on, and it's been nice to cover this beta without stressing about uploading every single day and live streaming for 4 hours a day. It's been really nice, and you guys have been supporting me with donations and super thanks and all that stuff, and yeah, you guys have just been absolutely awesome. I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.